just you can have it. And it will be pretty easy, like chill session for everyone too, where you all are going to have a chance to ask your questions to Varun about the game program, the university, kind of anything you want. This is our first time doing this too, so we'll see how this all goes. But let's get started. So I'm Alicia Markey. I'm the recruiter for our Global Automotive and Manufacturing program at the University of Michigan. I will go over to Varun here. He will introduce himself in one moment. I just also want to show you what's going to happen. Like I said, we'll have the Q&A where you can ask anything that you want of Varun or myself about the program and the University, Ann Arbor, kind of anything. We'll go over game at a high level, the program, and then I'm going to cover the application deadlines because some of them are fast approaching. Oh, we have another student coming in. And then I will give you contact information at the end so that if you have any questions that come up at the end of the webinar, feel free to reach out. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome. We're just getting started. You didn't miss anything, so don't worry. All right. So, Varun. Yay.
Okay, awesome. So thank you, Alicia. Maybe I can take a moment to introduce myself. So hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling in from. My name is Varun Chakrapani, and I am a previously graduated student from the Global Automotive and Manufacturing Engineering program. And I'm here today to share my experience, talk about all the things I learned during the program, and a little bit about my career journey, and hopefully answer any questions that you may have uh, towards joining this program. So what I have here is just a one pager of my background. So I am working in the automotive industry currently, and that has been my background. So I started my career after my undergraduate degree at General Motors in India. And that's where I worked in the powertrain division, working on automatic transmissions. And as part of the GM technical education program, I got the opportunity to start my master's at the U of M on the GAME program. And so from 2020 onwards, I transitioned from an online remote student to a full-time student here in Ann Arbor. And I completed my master's after COVID, which was quite chaotic for everyone. And in 2021, I graduated with my MEng from game and transitioned into the PhD program, also at the University of Michigan in the Mechanical Engineering Department. And during this time, I learned a lot about internal combustion engines as well as pollutant emissions, which is the area of my research and specialization. And due to the wonderful flexibility of my advisor and the engineering program at Michigan, I got the opportunity to intern at Bosch for close to 10 months, where I also conducted my research. So this was one of the unique uh, positions where I could both research as well as get experience in the industry at the same time. After which, in 2024, after successfully defending my dissertation, I graduated and later on joined Bosch as a full-time employee. And I'm currently working on combustion systems engineering, meaning I work with advanced engine technologies as well as measures to control pollutant emissions. So this is a little bit about me. And as I said, I am really excited to be here and I would love to share my experience and answer any questions you may have about the program.
So much, Varun. So just to give you all a little bit of background. So our program, as you might know, is an MEng, as Varun said. So that's a Master's of Engineering degree, which is different from an MS. So an MS typically is academic and research focused and based. So most times when you're doing an MEng, most students will go out, kind of like Varun did actually, and do industry work. And that's like kind of the goal. most of our students don't go on to do their PhD and doctoral work, but that is an avenue, as you can see from the room, that our students have done. So that's why I really was so excited for him to speak with everyone today, because it's a different route and not the typical for an MEng student, but it is one that we've seen our students do. So it's just a different idea for you to kind of consider. The MEng, like I said, is typically more for like the industry, but as you can see from Varun, he ended in industry too, but just wanted to get that highly specialized skill set for his doctoral degree as well. So I just want to open it up now for any questions that you might all have from a like as a prospective student that you want to know from an alumni. So what may have been like for specific courses that Varun took, or how did he find this career path, or working at Bosch, what was it like? So this is your time to just kind of ask any of those questions that you may have. Those are just ideas too, it doesn't have to be those, but this is just really an open forum. You can ask your question, unmute and ask it, or you can also feel free to unmute and ask your question. So Mariana, I see your hand, so feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Hi, Varun. I wanted to ask, how did you manage to, if I understood correctly, to work while you were also studying? Because I feel like that is one of the mo of the hardest challenges that you experienced during this journey.
Sure. Yes, I can answer that, and that's actually a very good question. Thank you, Mariana. So as you rightly pointed out, I started my master's program while I was both working as a full-time professional and being a student at the U of M. So I would say that of course, it requires additional efforts from your side, mostly because you have to be the best at both school and at work. But at the same time, I want to say that the program and the nature of the coursework and the way you interact with your instructors is flexible enough that it it is supportive of this arrangement, meaning that when I was starting off with this program, of course, this was a lot to work with. It was overwhelming at times, but I had instructors who were very understanding. The deadlines were set with the expectation that there are full-time working professionals also part of this program. And at the same time, um, what also helped me was a conversation with my manager where I explained to them that this is a degree that I'm very much invested in, and it would be very useful for both my career as well as the skill set I can implement at my workplace. And that's when my manager was supportive and gave me uh, some flexibility in terms of, let's say, attending classes, writing exams, and also just in general allowing me to interact with other industry professionals so that I can learn as much as possible during this course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like we have a question in the chat from Alina. How did you manage securing employment soon after graduating the MEng?
Okay, so that's actually a very important point. That is to apply for jobs after you get a graduate degree. And so, from my experience, uh, once I was clear on my credit requirements and I knew where the finish line is, I would say just a semester before I knew when I was graduating, I was very active in applying for jobs. And at the same time, I was working on the capstone project with an advisor from the mechanical engineering department. Uh, and during this process, I found that I was more inclined towards doing a PhD, and that's how I immediately transitioned from my master's to a PhD program. However, during my job application process, I did get a few interview calls as well as contacts with the industry. So, uh, from my experience, planning for applying for jobs well in advance actually really helps, especially because industries, especially in the US, uh, plan for budgeting and hiring roles well in advance. So if you are looking for employment opportunities, let's say in the summer, you have job openings as early as November or December of the previous year. And this is not to worry at all. You have plenty of support at the College of Engineering. We, in fact, have the Engineering Career Resource Center. So we have a dedicated team who actually helps you, let's say, review your resume, provide you advice on what's the best strategy to apply for jobs, giving you tips for how to crack interviews. And I believe the website also has useful information that helps you determine, let's say, what's the average salary for a master's program in a given state in the US. So they have historical data that helps you uh, enter this job hunting process with a very strong step. And so with these resources, I actually got an offer for an internship. And before I could proceed with getting into a full-time, um, my decision was to go with the PhD program.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, the ECRC is what the acronym for the Engineering Career Resource Center is. And U of M loves acronyms, so you'll see them a lot. And they help you with mock interviews, resume reviews, even salary negotiation appointments. And as Varun said, the key is to utilize that office as soon as you kind of come to campus. The sooner you can start, getting that resume together, getting your cover letter together, starting to use the job board that you'll have access to as well, the better set up you'll be. There are two large career fairs that you'll have access to on campus as well. They bring in over 300 companies that are just looking for U of M students too. So these are great ways to start networking and kind of finding those companies that you want to work for and starting to kind of like rub shoulders with recruiters. So it's a great way to get your foot in the door on these positions, but you have to like put that work in to get these roles. No school, I will say this wholeheartedly, like no school is just going to hand you a job when you graduate. That doesn't happen, unfortunately. But if you put in the work, your chances are very high of finding that opportunity at the end. And the capstone project that Varun brought up is a requirement for all of our courses and for the game program. So it's usually done at the end of your program where you take everything that you've learned throughout the program, throughout those courses, and you get to put it to work. So if you aren't working full time like Varun was, you will get to kind of work on an internship or research project where you get to see everything that you've done in classes kind of come to fruition. So it's a great way to start working kind of at a company as well and build those relationships too and see everything put to use. So we don't provide you with an internship. We again ask you to go out, find those opportunities yourself and find that capstone project. But if you cannot find one, don't worry. We have a capstone coordinator who's a faculty member and she will help you find an opportunity. We're not just going to say, hey, Patrick, you can't graduate because you didn't find your capstone, course or project. We will help you with that, but we ask our students to go out and find that opportunity first. Now, if you are working full-time already, we're not going to make you find another job on top of your job. You'll do it at your full-time place of employment, just on a different project. But that's usually, like I said, done at the end of your program. And the program is 30 total credits because I heard Varun talk about, knowing when you're kind of getting close to the end and when you're graduating. So just to let you know, it's 30 total credits. So we had another question come in. This question is, when applying to jobs, how did the master's degree impact on the positions available for you? Was there a higher expectation from the companies?
So that is so that's a good question. So I'm thinking at the back of my mind all the points I can share with you. Okay, so yes, to answer in short, the expectations for a graduate student, a master's student, is more than what you can expect from an undergrad. And the reason is because of the 2 years that you spend during your master's, you learn unique set of skills that is something that industries are always looking for, especially when it comes to more advanced automotive technologies, which is relevant to this program. And what that also means is that the kind of roles that you apply to are not generic, but sometimes even a little bit more specialized. So, for example, if you select any of the streams within games, such as like electrification or advanced chassis materials or so on, you would be able to find uh, roles that are quite relevant to the courses that you have selected as part of your program. And what that means is there's a good opportunity that roles are available for the specialization that you have. And I hope that answers a part of your question. The other thing that I can share personally is that uh, sometimes there are certain fields which are more favored or more tailored toward hiring a graduate student. And at my current workplace, I have worked with both hiring undergraduate students and graduate students. And I can definitely tell that doing a master's degree definitely brings additional skills that are more industry ready, uh, especially from some of the courses that we have here. So it it gives you an advantage when you're applying, depending on the place and the job role that you apply for.
And thanks for Varun highlighting these two. So for game itself, as Varun kind of mentioned, these areas of excellence or different areas that you can look specifically at within the degree are chassis and advanced materials, electrification, electrical systems and software, powertrain, vehicle design, manufacturing, vehicle performance and controls. And then these are just some of the career outlooks that some of our alumni have gone into as well. So this is perfect that Varun kind of brought in some of these areas of a study that I obviously Room has probably done as well. But this is just a perfect time to point out that higher level of what game kind of looks at. And then we have some more questions coming in. All right. Oh, I think you did answer it. She said thank you. All right. Oh, good. Everyone says thank you. They're learning a lot. All right. Are there any other
Awesome.
questions that are coming up here? Don't be shy. Well, I've got some questions here. I'm going to stop sharing for a second to pull up my questions.
Mhm.
All right. All right, Varun, while we're waiting. Okay. Was there a specific reason that you chose the game program over other degree programs that you had looked at?
Yes. So during my application for studying my graduate program, I selected game as the coursework and the requirements for gaining a master's degree was well aligned with my professional role at the time of my application. So as some of you may have heard, uh, during my, or let's say just before I got an admit from the U of M, I was working in the powertrain division at General Motors. And what that means is that I was looking for expertise in the field of powertrain, especially with respect to electrification and hybrid vehicles, because that was always uh, a wish, or let's say an objective of mine to gain as much experience and skills as possible to move towards this part of the automotive industry. And amongst the different courses or different streams that were available, the automotive and manufacturing engineering program uh, was the best match for what I was looking for. And that helped me make that decision.
You have a favorite course that you still remember?
A favorite course. This is a trick question because I have multiple favorite courses. Uh, but yeah, I think one course that particularly stands out was the course on hybrid controls and modeling. So at the time, I think this was 565. Uh, I forget if it's the same code name or not, but the reason why I specifically like this course so much is because the instructors for this course were working professionals, and we in fact have had two of them at the time when I was taking the course. I believe that still may be the same arrangement, and I really enjoyed having a conversation after classes about how the concepts that they teach during that course was directly being implemented uh, on their day-to-day jobs. So, as I mentioned, since hybrids were of particular interest to me, we would often talk about modeling practices or measures taken to ensure the function of a particular hybrid mode, and so on, which we could actually see in the cars that are in production. So having this very closely knit topics of discussion that kind of bridge what we're learning with what the industry actually uses was very interesting to me, because not only do I know that these are topics I would be using them in the industry later, but also it's kind of cool to see that uh, you're actually learning about things that are happening right outside where you're studying. So that is a class I really enjoyed.
And that is how our programs are structured. They have our, of course, esteemed faculty at the University of Michigan, but we do have a lot of industry leaders that help teach our courses as well. So it's really nice to not only have people that are like, in the books and the research space, but also those who are in industry seeing these things actually happening and can say like, yes, this will work, or, not so much, we need to pivot here. And this, is great in a book sense, but not going to work in the reality sense. So
Mhm.
perfect point. Do you have any advice that you would give to a new student starting the program?
Yes, I do have many, but I can probably share some of the most important learnings that I took away from my experience. So starting off with your master's program, uh, I experience a lot of autonomy, a lot of freedom when it comes to selecting courses or what I want to do with that master's degree. But what that also means, and it's important, is to have an understanding of what you'd like to achieve with your degree. Having that end goal or an idea of what's the best path for you moving forward really, really helps in selecting the best courses for you, or let's say joining a student organization that may support you in these interests and so on. So I would say before you start with your master's, have an idea of what you'd really like to take away. And as you gain more experience and start completing a lot of these courses and getting all the credits you need, it helps you determine if this is the best path moving for you or not. So come with a little bit of planning before you start, and it'll take you a long way.
Makes perfect sense. All right, I'm going to share again. I just want to highlight our upcoming application deadlines. Right now, we are accepting applications for the spring summer term as well as the fall semester. So, spring summer has a little asterisk there that you can see. Spring summer is online courses only. So, if you're looking to be an online student, it's a great time to just kind of get a jump start. The early decision deadline is fast approaching for spring summer. That's February 15th. And then regular admissions deadline is March 15th. And then the last deadline is April 15th. I recommend, though, just apply as soon as you're ready because that app is open. For the fall, we are in this last part right here, the extended consideration deadline. So March 15th is the last and final deadline for international students who are looking to be on campus for the fall semester. And then August 15th is for all other applicants. So this means for domestic students who are looking to be online or on campus, August 15th. And for any international students looking to be online, you can apply August 15th as well. So just to let you know, but again, I always say just apply when you're ready because I've had students like forget where they put their personal statement on their computer and then have to rewrite it. So just don't wait, apply as soon as you have everything ready because you need to have a complete application by those deadline dates to have it be reviewed for admissions. So, and that means having those letters of recommendation in, which leads me to what do you need for an application? So there is an application fee, unfortunately, for applying, 75 for domestic students and 90 for international students. We have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. The average GPA is a 3.5. We recommend taking the GRE if you're worried about your GPA and just at that 3.0 threshold. Otherwise, it is not required to take. You will need 3 letters of recommendation. The letters of rec can be from faculty members or they can be from supervisors and managers if you're working full time and you haven't been or in touch with your faculty. That's completely okay. You will need your resume, curriculum vitae, academic statement of purpose, and personal statement. These are the 2 written parts of your application. Please keep these to 500 words each. And then your official transcripts, and then your English proficiency exams if you are an international student too. So, are there any questions around the application deadlines or the application requirements themselves, like materials? Mariana, I saw you unmute. Did you have a question? I just didn't want to bypass you.
I don't. Thank you.
Perfect. Yep. Just didn't want to put you on the spot, but I saw that, so I just want to make sure. All right. So I want to again see if there are any other last questions we have for Varun. I think he's given us some great insights from being a student and an alum now, looking back on everything. Overall, Varun, honesty here, do you think it was worth it? Would you recommend it to these three on the call?
Absolutely, yes. And I thought maybe while people think of any other questions they may have, I wanted to share this particular, let's say, experience of mine from the whole game program, and that is with systems engineering. A typical undergraduate program candidate, you may not have come across this concept, but what really amazes me is how relevant this topic is as you're working on day-to-day jobs. And I could not agree more that systems is a very big part of working full-time just because my current role is also in systems engineering. And the information that I wanted to share was how the programs at Game helped me balance different, let's say, domains, which include powertrain, electrification, and all of that, but also systems engineering, which was actually a very interesting line of study. Personally, I really enjoyed working on case studies, and you can actually see how easy it is to have avoided, uh, let's say, mistakes in the past for certain huge engineering projects and so on. And all it comes down to is very simple systems engineering principles. So, uh, my takeaway from this whole program is to try to make use of the variety of programs or variety of courses that are available. See how best you can take them away into your day-to-day job or your next stage of career, whatever they may be, because the multidisciplinary part is something that's unique. I have not seen this offering in a lot of places, and I think this would really help boost your application or, let's say, just give you a boost in your general career path. And
Yeah.
so I thought that was a very useful thing to learn.
Something we really pride our program on is being able to take so many interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary courses from kind of all across the board of, not just one engineering area and department, but all different types, and then, all across the university as well. So thanks for saying that does work, Varun. We appreciate that to hear that,
Absolutely.
what we're doing here is working. If you have
Yes.
any other questions that come up, please feel free to reach out, send me an email. And if you have any questions for Arun, send me an email and then I'll pass them up to him to answer. And as always, just want to thank you all for being here. Hopefully, this is helpful and we'll see your application soon. And as always, go blue.
Go blue.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.